This is a mock-up demonstration of how to capture and digitalize as-designed social values with pro bono technologies. The purpose of these tools is to help architects make good design decisions for achieving social values in their buildings, and importantly, to make those good decisions visible to other stakeholders by ensuring that they're a core part of the building information model. And it does so by allowing the architect to construct logical arguments from products, elements in their design, through to social value goals. The case we'll look at is the Kitchen 2.0, formerly a hospital. Looks like this. This is a boiler room. It's being transformed into a space like this, an innovation hub. So we open up our BIM model in Revit and zoom to one of the locations of interest where we want to specify the occupants have a comfortable working area, feel they belong there, affords social interaction, and leads to a lively atmosphere. First, we'll specify a social value about the sofa, allowing people who sit there, work, and feel comfortable. So we start by clicking on the ProFormalise tab. And we specify social value, so we'll create a new social value. We have product, domain, and goal elements. I'm going to select product, start selecting the products in the social value argument. I'm going to specify the sofa. We can see it's starting to come into our argument, and the electrical socket beside the sofa that people can use to help them work when they're sitting on the sofa. We're going to select both of these objects. We want to specify explicitly that it's important that they're adjacent to each other. Okay, so that's the product level. Next, we're going to move on to the domain level. We'll specify the sofa. We want to specify that there's the sitting affordance. This is key to the argument. We then want to select the socket. It provides a continuous surface for people who are inside this functional space. We need to change the geometry of the space, so we're going to stretch it down to there. Next, we want to specify that it's the intersection between a person sitting on the sofa and being inside this continuous space. Select them, then specify the spatial relation, that it's the intersection of these spaces that's relevant. Finally, then, we've got the artifact or the area of space that contains the social value. So we're going to move into the goal level item, going to select, and we're going to specify comfort and a sense of belonging. These are the two social values that we associate with this argument. Our argument's completed, so now we're going to save the argument. We'll call it Design Intention 1. And now that the argument's saved, we can view it in the argument map. So let's select it. You can see the argument form comes up here again. Now suppose that the architect has constructed a number of social values. So we're going to view the argument map again. This time they've constructed 6 arguments. They can click through and view them. So in this case, we've got Design Intention 2, which is to do with awareness, eliciting awareness. We'll very briefly skim through this example. So here, the argument is that there is a slab in the building which represents a highly trafficked corridor. That corresponds to a movement space. So an occupant P is moving in that highly trafficked corridor. Next, we're interested in where should a person be located in order to see the sofa. So that's the visible space of the sofa. Then we want to highlight both of them just to see how they relate to each other. And we want to take the intersection of these two locations. So this area here contains the social value of allowing an occupant to be aware of the affordance of being able to sit on this sofa. The architect can step through, inspect these different design arguments. In this case, for this argument, notice that there's some causal chains of reasoning. So here, the sense of belonging and the sense of comfort support the social value of social interaction. The argument being that if someone's sitting on the sofa and another person walks down that highly trafficked corridor, they can see that person on the sofa, and that elicits social interaction. which in turn, when they engage and start talking to each other, yet further people in the building can hear them. So social interaction feeds in and supports yet further social value of life, of there being a lively atmosphere. The architect can click on various different social value goals to see which design intentions feed into those goals and which products. Similarly, they can click on various products to see which design intention arguments those products are involved in and which goals, which social value goals they're associated with. Suppose that the architect is exploring options for their HVAC system in the boiler room here. So for this, I'm going to get into a 3D view, and we want to specify our different HVAC outlet options. So we're going to choose the Nova DM, the renovation domain model feature. We're going to specify an approach. We're going to add a new element that isn't in the design. It's going to be a mechanical element, part of the HVAC system. And we want to specify the outlet. We're going to place it here in the building. Next, we're going to select the outlet and specify the different design options we have in mind. So in this case, we're going to specify 2 different grill sizes. We'll save this. The architect has already specified what their intended social values are. So if we select this design intention, they want that the outlet and the spatial zone, the boiler room, has both thermal comfort and acoustic comfort. And to help them decide on their design options, we're going to use the model identity card, or MIC